My friends, relatives, today, memorial for Wambdi Wanji. And the family have said and mentioned this, that they're really happy to see that you all come here. You make them feel good. You make them feel good, and in return, in honor of Wambdi Wanji, they have chosen this day to remember Wambdi Wanji, and also from their hearts, they have things to give you, so that you can carry this memory with you. And we all know that each one of us, we have a certain way of communicating with the mystery, our Creator. We have different ways of saying this prayer, but all together is just like one. When we say those words, that the mystery hears you. The mystery is not saying, I don't want to hear you, I'll wait till later. It hears all of you at the same time. We as Dakota people, we have that belief. So, for the gathering, for all of us here, in your own way, I ask you to help with this prayer, so that all good things will be with us. Our relative Jonas, my country, he's a very humble man. When you ask him or when you need him, he never says no. He said, I will. Our relative Jonas, my country, daily, throughout the mysterious night, he always walked with prayer. Nik Suyapi, I always remember all of him. Sometimes when I think about him, he makes me feel good. He has a certain way of laughing too. Yeah. Sometimes he does it the old way, he'll laugh at this. Yeah. But he was a man who chose the way of the path that he walked on. He chose a good path, and on this good path that he walked on, he helped people. He lived that way. He got the strength from all of you to walk in this good way. He left a good example of how we should live. Tashi Jonas, Akichita Ope. Our relative, he was Marines chap. And he sees, he did Naji. He's probably walking here someplace. Maybe he's standing by you, tapping on you. He sees his fellow Marines and his fellow Akichita protectors. So this song here will be in honor of Wambdi Wanji. We're going to honor this with this song here. A veteran, a warrior song. 아버지, Iwa Khan, Gabriel Rendell, his grandson is here. I'd like to ask our chairman, Itancha, to come up and however he wants to tell us a few things. Go ahead, Jonas. I think he's drinking Red Bull. Energy drink.
I just want to thank the family, Rosella, for inviting not only myself, but Tribal Secretary Bissett, who's also here, and Vice Chairman Lincoln. I'm just happy to be here, and show up for families when we're called upon. Try to do my best to be all those places I can. Sometimes, my schedule is just a little busy where I can't. But fortunately, though, I do have, Secretary Bissett and Vice Chair Lincoln that also helps, for us to be everywhere. And I'd say that we work really well together. We try to cover all the places we need to be, and we work kind of as one. And so we think that's the best way to, cover all these things. But just want to say I'm real appreciative for the family to be able to come here and see all of you and just be a part of this. So thank you for that. And just my continued prayers for the family. I know grief and loss sometimes take time, and my prayers will continue to be for you and your family and the loss of your loved one that we're here celebrating today. So with that, I just thank you for allowing me to be here and share a meal with you. I appreciate the invite.
We have 3 chairmen here. We're honored by their presence. Ostedo. Tuska Russell Tugidada. Whoa. Heidi Hudson, please. Russell, we accept him. I'm going to ask him to come up and also say a few words. Butch, after you.
Thank you. I want to thank Chairman Gray for having this memorial. He's always so respectful of his family and his tribe and our tradition. And that even overlaps into the Washichu tradition. John Kennedy said, a nation is judged not only by the men that it produces, but by the ones it remembers. So Chairman Gray is remembering his brother, is honoring his brother, and that is a great thing that he's doing. Chairman Gray and I go back a long ways. We were friends before either one of us got into politics. We used to hunt together and work on old cars together. And he was a sweat manager and I was a manpower director. And we'd kind of visit with each other before we'd come to work. We'd always make sure that one of us had a couple gallons of gas, one of us had a tow chain, one of us had a spare tire that fit a Ford, one that had a spare tire that fit a Chevrolet. Because our tribal members back then, like 50 years ago or 40 years ago, however long that was, cars would always be breaking down in the parking lot. So Chairman Gray was really a good mechanic, and he would get everyone back on the road. Sometimes we'd have to use jumper cables, but we spent a lot of time just getting their cars started and out of the parking lot. But we've come a long ways now. Now when you look at our parking lot at the tribal office, you see new Cadillacs, new pickups, you see, even there's a couple Beamers, you see a lot of new, nice cars. But back 40 years ago, that wasn't the case. But I just want to give credit where credit is due. Chairman Gray is doing this for his brother. The great thing he's doing, he's remembering his brother. He's honoring his brother. And I commend him for that. And thank you for that. There's a Bible scripture that says, give honor to whom honor is due. So I want to thank Chairman Gray and John for calling me up here. Without telling me they're going to call me up here and say a few words. But I'm always happy to say something on behalf of Chairman Gray and his family. Thank you.
Oh, Sisseton. Si chango oxola tu. Batera.
Thank you all very much.
Hiding out. Oh, there she is. Former councilwoman. All you girls. Oh. Hold it.
One of the things I want to talk about, Uncle, the love for our GUA is always so great. He gave the names to my children, and there's certain memories, and when I walked in right away, I thought, oh, I want to tell them that story. Because I was thinking it was starting at 2, and no, they're starting at 1. Because I was flying through the hills like an eagle in that big shape. And that's one of the stories I want to talk about way back in the early 80s when we were sundancing. And he was our leader, and one of the leaders, and just, to listen to him when he was training, and I still, to this day, I said that the language, you have to speak it, to keep it alive. We have to continue to speak with our contact, because otherwise, it's going to slip away. And when I used to listen to him, it was almost musical, the way that he spoke in his terms. And that's how I was. I remember with Mom and Dad, we worked here at the day school, and then started working at the school in Washington. So that's where basically grew up. And I always said we could drive the road here blindfolded, because we're always coming back to Jonas and Tuesday. But at sundown, when we were getting ready to pray, to go out around, I was watching him, and he had a pipe, he was filling the pipe, and he got up, went out to take it to the direction. And that's what I saw. He was out there and he was soaring around that arbor with the pipe, carrying the pipe before he gave it to the pipe girl. The Sundance, we always had a pipe girl that held the pipe all the days that we were there. And I had a lot of faith in how we think these good ancestors, and that love continues because you can see it in the family. I can't even remember, this was, I don't know, it must have been in the 80s too, I'm not for sure. But they had stuff going on at the bingo hall. And my brother called and he said, we need to go with the key. We need to go over there now. Where the gym is now for the kids and that was bingo. We're in there and he closed up everything, sat at his altar, and we started prayer songs. And he filled a pipe, and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden the door to the south just flew open, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I was the only one that said anything, and I was going to get up, and he looked at me, and he just knew, it was just like, he knew, he turned and he looked at me, and he said, no, you're leaving. And I never heard of him ever having a problem there after that. But this time, it was so loved by all the people. And I'm so grateful that all the things that he blessed me with, talking to me about my pipe, ceremony, everything. And I just wanted to share about that with the family and people that came today to honor him. And I'm so grateful to see all of you here because our family really loves him. And my kids all fly off like eagles to different places, so they're not here, but I just love the name that he gave them too. Sometime.
Jonas Sundance with us, and sometimes he always have your humor and stuff. He Sundance at Little Eagle too. So when he came to Sundance at our Sundance, Wambdi Sundance in Buffalo Lake, they said, well, there's Double Warrior. He danced at Little Eagle, now he's dancing here. Then they teach some more. Well, you can't see his feet, he's flying. They all joke with each other, but we knew him for many, many years, and he would be our spiritual leader at the tribal school. He would come and with us, and he would bless the school. He'd go around the whole school with a sage, and in the room, he's a very spiritual man, and respected Jonas very, very much. My daughter has something to tell you about Agnes, his mom, what she did great for us.
I was visiting with Mom, and last year when we came to the services, every time I seen Ghana Jonas, it just took me back to growing up. The times that Tui and my Ina talked about in the 80s when the Sundances were coming back around to our area, all of our people were learning. To me, that was just the Kotawi Chonkan that I grew up with. I thought everybody did that. And so whenever I seen Jonas, because of the memories I had since I was a child, Every time I saw him, I would picture him. It would take me back to Sundance when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. He'd be out there in the arbor, like what Tui said, when our people were Mushika and the pipe came to us, the Creator gave the Chiduka to the Wambdi Wanji. The Wambdi Wanji then brought it down to the Tatanko Wanji, and then to us. So every time I saw him, that's what I saw, was him out there in the Sundance Arbor. His arms are out like this, and he had the feathers. On each arm, he had feathers pierced to him. And he would have that chanupa, and he'd be out there just gliding. And he was so, the Dakota, Wichoha, our spirituality, it's such a beautiful way, but he was so reverent to that. So every time I saw him, that's what it would take me back to. So in essence, he was like a strength to me, to my spirit, my heart. And when I was 11, 12, I had my Ishnati ceremony, my coming of age, at my Dakshi Dennis's Sundance. He was there, and it was that at that time, all these years, I was like, Mom, who was that Kushi who gave me a brown shawl? Tashina Liwi means her brown shawl woman. So in essence, my name's Brown Shawl, or brown robe, brown blanket. So I said, who is that Kushi who gave that to me? And she's like, oh, that's Jonas's mom. Her name is Agnes. She wanted to give that to you because of your name. So after I did my womanhood ceremony, I was gifted with that. So every time, like I said, every time I saw Jonas, it made me feel good. He brought me strength just by looking at him, seeing him in the community, and I would just, like, oh, there he is. But I really looked up to him. And now, God bless.
Oh, you talking to me. I want to welcome all of you. Thank you there. Yeah, Jonas. See ya. Ukichia. Naku Yami talk. Agnes. Naku be choking. And Yokpia. My mother, she liked her Indian ways. She danced Indian. Hey, on 4th of July, she would dress up and dance, or she'd go up to Little League with her sister, and she'd dance up there. I really liked her Indian ways. But tomorrow would have been her birthday, and my daughter, Little Lynn, would have been her birthday too. They both shared a birthday on August 19th. So that's why we're celebrating today while we're having this giveaway party here at Jonas. But anyway, it's good to see all of you come up, especially to teach to all the veterans that are here today. Looks nice. I think what we're going to do now, again, I want to reiterate before we start, really appreciate all of you coming up to be part of this. But I think we're going to start first, John, with this Wapaha here. This was given to me for my brother's ceremony. It was given to me by the VFW of Fort Berthold. So we'll start off with that.
Go ahead, you do it. Scott Russell and Tahashi, while they are getting ready to help with this, I would like to mention another thing about Tahashi Jonas. Lewachi Oyake Kinde. When I had Wikichemana Yamani, some Yamani, you happy. O Tokai he, huh? Tahashi, Ochi ke Kach. Imuche. Tahashi, Ochi ke Ek, the dark oas and washek, Tokata kia, Waheche, Henachti head, Deche Kiwita. Ihdui Atapo, Heche Chashto, Tahashi Jonas, Ochi ke Chum, Echun he, Chajeki he, Yuhacheki. Pateto Hecho, Oye, Machbir, Makata. Hawakam Oyate Vichakcho. Oyake ki he, Yuashtekta. Togata ke de, Oyate ki wita, Oyu Kpi Hapta, O Awake Yuhapta. Heche, Uchiki. Our relative, my cousin Jonas, he was asked in the beginning of this Ihidui Atapo, this yearly Wachipi that we have. He was part of the beginning. We as a committee, we asked him, I don't like that word committee. We as relatives, we asked him, could you ask the ministry to help with what we're doing here? Pray for this and pray with the name. Pray with the name so that it will go on. That we'll have happiness when we gather, that people in the future, when they gather, they'll be happy. So I remember him. He went out to the center like that. We just had a shade. And cars were parked all around. So Buffalo Lake singers are over here. They sang a prayer song. While he was praying, he went to each direction, above and earth. And he had flags for each direction. Usually, sometimes, we're kind of impatient, but then we as Dakotas, we had the patience. It took some time to do that. And that was allowed by all of us. So when he got done praying, that prayer is still with this place. It is still going. He prayed that there will be happiness in this area. Pray that people will help each other, take care of each other. That's how this Wachipi started here back in 1991, August, September. I'm kind of losing it up here. Maybe I lost a long time ago. But no, I just wanted to mention that, Tahashi Jonas was a very essential part with prayer. We're going to present Wapaha wood choking there. But before that, I have a tushka here. Gotta always be ready.
How matakiapi? Yemen, nokasa, maniku. I thank you all for the honor of asking me to say a few words today. I really appreciate Dikshi, Andy, and Jonas. I've learned a lot from these men by just watching them. Watching them and how they lead and how they live their lives. Take care of their families. That transfers over to taking care of all of us as the Oyate. When I began my Dakota spiritual journey, finding myself, my true spiritual self as a Dakota, it was when I married Audrey and she took me to the Sundance in 1991. And after that, I had gotten a chance to meet Jonas. And he shared with me openly about this way of life. It isn't just going to church on Sundays, it isn't just reading a Bible, it's not trying to convert everybody else to Christianity or to Dakota spirituality or Dakota way of life. It's just living your life as a Dakota. And that's what I've observed these men do, both of these men. Russell, Andy, I think she's John, how they live their life of service to the Dakota Oyate. When asked to do something, they never say no. They just say, I'll see. And eventually they do find a way to meet whatever the request is. Whatever they've been asked to do, they step up and they find the resources, either through their own means or through the means of the community, to take care of the people, to take care of the person that's in need, to take care of the family members that have needs. And so that is the blessing that I've been given as Dakota Wichashta, is to be in the company of great men, great leaders that live this life every day as leaders, not just when they're sworn in as chairman, not just when they win that election, but every day living their life as a leader in their families, their community, and their Oyate. Jonas.
The ceremony for the headdress. We have two past chairmen, chairmen, not chairman, but chairmen, here to help with this ceremony because they have also achieved the bonnet that they wear. The bonnet that represents the individual's walk in life. Explanation of the bonnet. It is back in the day, a Hana. Always the tail feathers, the big tail feathers were made of the bonnet. Reason why the tail feathers are used is because Wambdi which could which Wakanda. Oish Washana, Washina Yakeki Ha. Sideki Na, Hidu. Observation of the bird, the eagle. The tail feather gives direction of the eagle. If it's going to go this way, it will turn its feathers that way, in a certain way. Also in this way, or up or down. And when it sits down, it gathers its feathers. In our life, and in their life, those who have wapaha, they have traveled in their way of life in a good direction. When they are going to do something, they ask for the spiritual help. The spiritual help comes when you ask. Wambdi Wanji. That's how much these men here, and those of us, or those of you who have a bonnet or tail feathers that you carry and pray with. They give us direction in our life. So when you see somebody praying with a feather, you're asking a direction of what to do. And a lot of times, you get a good direction of how to do that. So this bonnet here, and this blanket here is on a tripod. This tripod, Wotawe Eapjet Ehana. In the time of when we had teepee, Wotawe would be put outside by the lady. And whoever comes to that teepee, they see that. And Wayaka, and they know who lives there. Because that represents the man who's there. So today, the accomplishments of many things. Padani, Chopamani. We're going to ask him to come. For the Hanshi Gerald, he will.
Dakota once again to be able to do things. As you see, you have some of our leadership, some of the ones that have earned prestige. This day and age, a lot of these things that we have, we can find them out downtown somewhere in pawn shop sometimes. Our wapaha, Wambdi wapaha, to our people is a very special, a very, very special thing. And over the years, in that bonnet, in these wearing of feathers, it was always said that if you were going to place feathers upon your person or wear it on your body, or if it was bestowed upon you, it was because you were a person that was very, very humble, very, very generous, very, very kind. And in this day and age, it seems like a lot of those things, it's almost just the opposite in a lot of ways. But you have people that are very humble, and they have what you call leadership abilities and skills. That in this modern times we get very confused. We come into a political season, we have all those types of things, but true leadership happens just like all of you. Some of us were over at Shakopee the other day, and a lot going on, a lot of relatives over there. But a day like today, that comes very few, because there are those of us that have been very fortunate to have a bonnet placed on our head at a young age. But we're also told that because of the way society is today, that you can't wear it in public because the people will laugh at you. Or say, look at them, who do they think they are? Things like that. It happens. It happens. But our relatives that are doing this today, Dixie, Andy, and family, there's a lot going on. Talking about Wambdi Wanji. I remember him from when I was 8, 9 years old. Sundance at Little Eagle, South Dakota. My little brother, Wambdi Gill, his actual name is Little Eagle Gill, because at that time his dad, Dixie Gilbert, was dancing at Little Eagle, and his Ina Pat, she went into labor, and they took her to Bismarck. And henceforth the name Little Eagle Gill came to be, because Gilbert was dancing, Dixie Gilbert was dancing in Little Eagle. But also Jonas, my dad, and there was a whole slug of them that went to Sioux Valley, Canada, back in the late 70s, going into the early 80s, Sundance, from here in Sisseton. I was a little boy. As a matter of fact, it's my first time ever singing in the Sundance was in Sioux Valley, Canada, 10 years old. And it seems like maybe that's the curse, maybe that's the burden that brought me here today, to be 55 years old and to be sitting over there alone. But I'll do it. I was just sharing with my relative over there. Majority of my teachers, they're no longer physically on this earth. But I was that little boy that was always sitting at the drum. And to be here today is an honor. But there's also songs that go with this. But I'm going to ask those of you with the cameras, okay? I'm going to ask you if you would refrain from those songs, these first 2 songs. Because I do have relatives. And again, my dad's last brother-in-law, his name was Mike Smith, from the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation. Remember the Oakdale Singers? The last member passed away Friday morning during the Shakopee Powell. And that's my dad's brother-in-law. But also my dad also took part a lot in Fort Berthold. I'm a child of Locat from one of those clans, the Fort Berthold Reservation. My dad was Locat. But I guess if it wasn't from people like my dad and relatives, maybe I wouldn't know what I know right now, which is very little. But there's 2 songs that I'm going to sing, and those are parade songs, bonnet parade songs.
Pokażcie Amici Kusayo! Pokażcie Amici Kusayo! Pokażcie Amici Kusayo! Pokażcie Amici Kusayo! Pokażcie Chciały ciasta, chyba Amici Kusayo! Ucimaksa! Chciały ciasta, chyba No tak, koniecznie. Amici Kusayo! Matlesia, Wakaha, behind Isaac, Tatamic, Desire, Usipadayo. Oh. Ate itlacha, the watchua, a chokcha, Uti Yauhina de Pedo, Wambdi Wanji, Kidera, Riaka, Kukok Ucha, Yori Hake Mauni Pedo. We ask all of you to please sympathize, be patient with us, and understand. Our ego relatives have loaned us these feathers so we can do this. Aki chitawa, oki chiteo tes ka idaya. Naha. Wichaka soki. Naha. Kaopi, Yukha, Apia Zania, Duhudi. Today we honor a warrior who had gone to the most unpopular war this country's ever been in. But he is the Lakichita, so he went. He fought the battle, fought the good battle. He was wounded by the enemy. But Tokachina healed him to come home to his people. Edia Petuke, Yodi Hapata. Oyate, Kawita Ahina. Nayasi. Yeah. This. Hapetuke. Hadani. Ochopi. Itiapelo. This ceremony has humbled me as a common man. I was asked to do this. So gosh, I shed some tears for Dixie Jonas. Want to honor one of his relatives. That they were Sita, Itaki, Nato, Yomaki. There, Duyawi Chaka, Yori Hapucha. Iwa Kapoyati Kikiapo. Uncle Jonas, for some reason, I stand humbly before all of you. For some reason, I was chosen to do this, and it caused my tears to flow. Thinking I am not worthy. I'm not worthy. But I'm also a Vietnam vet too. So again, that turns the honor back. Let these two take that with us. Thank you.
Ask all of you to come by while they sing the honor song to shake.